We also have Sanjay Chadha, senior advocate, joining us on the show. Mr. Chadha, you heard the Parliament there moving very swiftly to form a new panel to look into Justice Yashwant Varma's claims that he was not guilty, that stack of cash did not belong to him, and he had absolutely nothing to do with it. In your assessment, how long before he's impeached?
Look, this is nothing but a general practice. Whenever we have seen such processes happening, though so far none of them have been sailed through finally, because in some occasions some judges have resigned or so on and so forth. So here, this is a general practice. The court, the Parliament has to appoint that. In front of that committee, the justice has to appear, and he has all rights to explain as to how he was not involved or whatever is the explanation from his side. So he can give that explanation there, and based upon that, a panel will produce the report before the Parliament, and based upon which further impeachment process, if so, will proceed.
It's a standard practice, but at the same time, I think what we are also seeing happening are the two processes unfolding simultaneously. So while on one hand, Supreme Court is hearing Justice Yashwant Varma's petition where he's challenged the in-house inquiry report against him, at the same time, a new panel has now been constituted. Would it be right to say, therefore, that he's in serious trouble at this point?
No, certainly he is in very serious trouble, number one. Number two, Supreme Court has categorically say no to what challenge he has done, because Supreme Court in its order has very categorically mentioned that, look, this panel has given you ample notices, this panel has given you opportunity to appear before the panel and explain the case, but you choose not to appear despite the service. So that is the reason, and the court has taken a very straight view on this, that you can't, it is not you who will decide as to whether to appear or not. And once you have not decided not to appear before, you can't come up before us that it is an ex parte kind of thing, where no explanation was sought by the panel. So Supreme Court has already rejected his plea. And so, as far as this... Yes,
right.
please.
So I have to ask you, what happens here on, sir? Run us through what the impeachment process will look like for Justice Varma.
Now, very simply and plain, and in a very plain language, this judge has to appear before this panel. The panel will hear him as the Honorable Speaker has read out as to what exactly was there. So accordingly, Justice Varma has to reply all those queries, and if he is able to explain the source and how it all happened, his side of story is convinced, and he is able to convince the panel, then I think that would be a different case. But it is a crystal clear case. He does not have any explanation as far as so far we have seen. That is the reason he was avoiding to appear before the panel, which was constituted by the then CJI, Mr. Khanna. So,
okay.
And the moment if the report is placed before the Parliament, there will be a voting in which we all know that two-thirds majority is needed for his impeachment.
All right, and that two-third majority is likely to come by the way of the support that opposition parties have also given to that impeachment process. But I have to ask you, the last time around when court was hearing the matter, and Justice Varma, being represented by Kapil Sibal, said that the in-house procedure was extra constitutional mechanism because it violated Parliament's exclusive authority to remove a High Court judge. But now that Parliament has also formed a 3-member panel, a committee to look into those allegations, I believe those legal hurdles are also clear?
Exactly, and that was not the contention raised by the Justice Varma before the Supreme Court was not accepted, as I said earlier also. So it is not accepted by the court. Court has said that you have chosen not to appear, number one. Number two, the contention that that was an extra constitutional proposition appointing a panel, it was a special case. It was a case where a huge amount of cash, some of it was burnt also, was found. A videography is done, and all that was in public. So I don't think there was anything which was, which was extra constitutional or something which was unconstitutional. So every time, the objective now, if we see it from the angle that inquiry, I could say that was a preliminary inquiry. Now we can come to the Supreme Court, we can come to the Parliament, and Parliament has adopted the right process which is there. So the earlier activity which was done was not at all extra constitutional, but it was very much within the domain of the Constitution, I think.
But that was the submission made by Justice Yashwant Varma's representation in the court, and the court, of course, denied all those, all that recommendation, and in fact upheld the three-member panel report. But now to add to that, to add more, perhaps integrity to the ongoing process, to make it perhaps more solid by the way of legality, the court has now, in fact, the Lok Sabha now has constituted a three-member panel. So Speaker of the Lok Sabha, they're announcing a three-member panel that will look into those allegations to ensure that the integrity of the judicial process in this country is maintained and respected. Sanjay Chadha, thank you very much for all those details, for joining us on the show.